polysaccharides. We know that polysaccharides are complex macromolecules. They are made up of more than 10 monosaccharide units. These monosaccharide units are connected together through mainly glycosidic linkage. Glycosidic linkage can be of different types. It varies depending upon the type of polysaccharide. Each monosaccharide in a polysaccharide is known as residue, a residue. Okay. We can classify polysaccharides in different ways based on their complexity or based on their composition. Based on their composition, monosaccharides are mainly classified into two categories: homopolysaccharides and heteropolysaccharides. Homopolysaccharides are made up of same type of residues or monosaccharide units, and heteropolysaccharides are made up of different type of residues or monosaccharides. The major example for homopolysaccharide is starch, which is present in plants, and heteropolysaccharides include heparin and keratin sulfate. Polysaccharide can also be classified based on their function. Okay? Based on their function, these polysaccharides are classified into storage polysaccharide or energy polysaccharide. The second category is cellular polysaccharides. Third category is structural polysaccharides. Storage polysaccharide include starch in plants and glycogen in animals. Cellular polysaccharide, they are mainly participating in cellular communication, cell signaling process, etc. They are mainly glycoconjugates. Glycoconjugates means here polysaccharide linked to either protein or lipid. Accordingly, they are named as glycoprotein and glycolipids. The last category is structural polysaccharide. They are the part of structural components of plants, animals, bacteria, etc. Example, cellulose in plants and chitin in the exoskeleton of insects. Cellulose mainly seen in the cell wall of plants. Next, we have to discuss about the structure of one polysaccharide, that is starch. We know that starch is a major storage polysaccharide and it is an example for an homopolysaccharide. Since it's a homopolysaccharide, it is mainly made up of glucose units, that is especially alpha D glucose units. They are linked together through alpha 1,4 glycosidic linkage. Starch is mainly made up of two types of glucose polymers: amylose and amylopectin. Amylose is a linear unbranched glucose polymer It mainly contains alpha 1,4 glycosidic linkage, whereas amylopectin it constitutes nearly 70 to 80 percentage of starch, and it is a highly branched structure. It mainly contains two types of linkage, alpha 1,4 linkage, and in the branching point we can see alpha 1,6 linkage. In a cell, starch is mainly stored as granules. Instead of linear structure, starch is stored as granules. Okay. If you are considering the structure of a granule, it contains two portions in it. That is an amorphous portion or amorphous region and a crystalline region. Consider it is the inner structure of a granule. It contains two types of regions alternatively arranged. If first region is amorphous, then next will be crystalline, amorphous, crystalline. So like that it is alternatively arranged. The amorphous region contains linear unbranched amylose polymer, and the crystalline region contains highly branched amylopectin polymer. Let us draw the structure of amylose. It is a linear unbranched structure. To make the structure or to make the drawing easy, let us draw the outline of several glucopyranose ring structure. Draw in a straight line several glucopyranose ring structures. Okay. Let us fill the bonds. We know that the first carbon atom, since it is an alpha D glucose, in the first carbon atom, the bottom position is occupied by hydroxyl group and the top position is occupied by hydrogen atom. Remaining portions are same for beta D glucose also. The only difference between alpha D and beta D glucose is that the first anomeric carbon atom, in case of alpha D glucose, the hydroxyl group is present in the bottom portion, and in case of beta D glucose, hydroxyl group comes in the top position. Just fill the bonds. To make the glycosidic linkage, the hydrogen atom of first glucose unit react with the hydroxyl group of the second glucose unit and eliminate a molecule of water, and the remaining is only one oxygen atom. With this, the two glucose units are linked together. Okay, the oxygen atom I drawn in the middle. Okay, so this linkage is known as alpha 1,4 glycosidic linkage. Okay, why it is alpha 1,4 glycosidic linkage? Because first carbon atom and the fourth carbon atom are linked together. Okay, so this is the simple structure of the linear unbranched amylose polymer. Next is amylopectin. Amylopectin is a branched structure. So it contains a linear portion and a branched portion in it. So this is the branching. So the branching is made up of alpha 1,6 linkage, and the linear portion, it is similar as that of amylose, contain alpha 1,4 linkage or alpha 1,4 glycosidic bond. Okay, so I am going to show you how to draw this alpha 1,6 linkage or especially the branching point of amylopectin. The remaining part are same as that of amylose. So here I am drawing two glucopyranose ring structure. Okay, and just numbering it. Okay, just filling the bond alpha 1,4 glycosidic linkage. Next, in the second glucose unit, I am drawing the atoms, all the atoms. Okay, just filling it. Okay, now I will show you how this 1,6 linkage is formed. So below that I am drawing two more glucopyranose structure. then only we can connect it easily with the previous linear structure. Okay, just filling the bonds. This is the 6th carbon atom. The linkage in branching point, we know that it is alpha 1,6 linkage, and in the linear region it is alpha 1,4 linkage. Okay. In order to make bond, what happen means hydrogen atom of first glucose unit react with the hydroxyl group of 6th carbon of next glucose unit, eliminate one molecule of water, and remaining is a hydrogen atom. With that, these two glucose units are linked together, especially on first and 6th carbon atom with an oxygen atom. This linkage is known as alpha 1,6 linkage.